Snappy Tomato Pizza, Skyhawk Talk. It's Monday night. We'll go till 7. Then it's the Big Orange Hotline as they talk Tennessee football. Coach Dooley and Bob Kessling here on the radio. Coach, let's look at the Ohio Valley Conference standings with that. Boy, I tell you, there were a bunch of teams bunched up in the second place spot. Now you're tied for second with Eastern Kentucky and Eastern Illinois at 3-1. Tennessee State also has 3 wins, but no losses atop the standings. Then Jacksonville State and Murray 2-2, Southeast Missouri 1-2, Tech 0-3, and Austin Peay 0-5. So at this point in the season, as you expect, you start to see the teams separate a little bit, but still everything's up for grabs.
Yeah, and that's one thing we talked to our team about today was that last year we were 4-2 in the conference. With 2 games to go, and the winner of the league, EKU, Tennessee Tech, and Jacksonville, all tied at 6-2. So we controlled our own destiny last year, and didn't get it done. So the reality of it is halfway through, we won more than we lost. We're 5-2. We're 3-1 in the conference, and so you're all that does is just keep you optimistic, and it keeps you in it. Now, with that being said, we go on the road this week. Then we have an open week. Then we got a 3-game stretch where 2 of the 3 are at home. So you play well this week and somehow find a way to get a win. Then I think you start talking about different scenarios. But still, you got 3 games left.
Yeah, as a broadcaster, and I know Joe LaFaro's doing this too. We're already looking at who we're tied with, Tennessee State, their records. I mean, there's so many different factors and scenarios and how the schedule unfolds at the end of the season.
Right, exactly. And, you always get in that Tennessee State, and they only play 7 games and all that.
They play 1 less conference game than the rest of the schools.
Because they play the 4 classic games, and that's a deal that the OVC, cut with them, get them in the league, and, that's just the way it is. So all we can do is just control our own destiny. And right now, just getting ready to go to Cape Girardeau.
I don't want to get in a philosophical discussion about that, but for Tennessee State playing 1 less conference game, that means there's one opponent that they don't play, which really can even put them at a disadvantage ultimately, and it's out of their hands.
And who is the team?
It's at Eastern Illinois, I think. TSU's not playing Eastern this year.
Right.
Yeah. And that could be a tiebreaker scenario that could hurt Eastern Illinois.
And so, and that's something every year that always, plays into it, especially as long as, TSU is going, is going to compete and do well in the conference standings. So, that's something we'll have to talk about down the road. But yeah, it can be disappointing if it affects you.
How about your open date, where it falls this year?
Well, you win this week, you're glad.
Right.
If you don't, you say, man, I wish open week had been this week. We need an open week.
Mm-hmm.
We do. Now, we did come out of this game relatively. It's the first game, I think, in 4 weeks where we hadn't lost somebody for the next game. So I expect everybody that played in this game to play this week. And, maybe Ben Ever to be a little bit. We'll get him back, hopefully.
An Achilles.
Yep. And turned out to be just a real, that's such a tender area on your leg. It turned out to be, a bad bruise, but it's just very tender for him. So hopefully we'll get him back. We'll see how that goes. But, that open week could work out well for us. It could be a blessing in disguise.
Barksdale was back in the lineup. That was good to see.
And it was good, and he gave us a little spark. He gave us a little juice at the running back position. He had a good week of practice. So, I want to really see him finish his senior year off on a high note.
Sports Network ranks you 29th in the country. You're starting to draw some attention here. And there are 2 other OVC schools, obviously Tennessee State and Eastern Kentucky, that are up there. Do you pay attention to the rankings during the season?
No, Joe kind of keeps me updated and stuff, and that's kind of cool. We want to be in the top 10, and obviously you got to be 29 before you can get to 10. So, keep putting some wins together, and then look up in a couple weeks.
This point in the season, and we talked about the open week a minute ago. How does your practices change compared to what they were just compared to what they were in week 2?
Well, you start cutting back a little bit. You do. Bodies start getting worn down a little bit, and so we'll instead of going 24 5-minute periods, a 2-hour practice, you're going to go an hour and 50 minutes. And believe it or not, those 10 minutes now make a big difference. And then, on Wednesday where you would only go an hour and 55 minutes, you cut it back to an hour and 45 minutes. So, at the end of the week, you're probably going 30 minutes less than you normally would, but you kind of have to start taking care of your guys a little bit. And we've got to the point where on Tuesday and Wednesday's our work day. We're going to put pads on because we just, you got to fit up certain runs in order to be ready to go on Saturday. But besides that, like tonight, we're in helmets. Thursday, we'll be in helmets. Then we'll walk through Friday and stuff. So I've changed over the years. I really have. We used to go out there and, and it would be a lot of contact. And now it worked. I got a conference championship ring, but we're a different style of offense now.
Right.
We don't carry as many runs. It's just different. So we've tried to adjust it accordingly.
Joe, let's get Joe LaFaro here for a second. Joe's been on with us for a couple segments last couple of weeks. Joe, I was telling Coach Simpson earlier, I was listening to WHBQ in Memphis, and they were talking about Derek Carr's performance because it was so amazing. It's always good when something like this happens. I almost equated a little bit to Lester Hudson's quadruple-double, where the numbers are so exaggerated that other people in other parts of the country turn and go, really? He really did that? How much have you had of that in the last couple of days?
Well, we've had quite a bit.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that happened today was on the Dan Patrick show.
Oh, I didn't know this.
You have not heard this story?
No, I hadn't heard the Dan Patrick story.
They have that segment, The Best and the Worst.
Yeah?
And Pat Probst, I believe that's this guy's name that does it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Derek Carr got called out for being among the best in the country.
Really? I didn't. I've got the Dan Patrick app on my phone. I'll listen to that on the way home.
Yeah, you got to listen to it. Kyle at the OVC office sent me the video.
Mm-hmm.
He said
because that's also on Dish.
It's on Dish, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think that's where he pulled it from. But unfortunately, he had it upside down. He couldn't figure out how to flip it. I just turned my phone around. It's okay. Well, we've had quite a bit. The big thing about Derek is he broke that efficiency record, which was set way back in 1989. I say way back in 1989 because most of the guys on a football team weren't born in 1989.
Right, that's true. That's right. And John Abel and I were trying to explain to the listeners who aren't that knowledgeable of football, but that the efficiency just kind of even goes over my head. I mean, I know what a good efficiency rating is. His was just out of the ballpark.
I don't even know how to keep up with
it's
the
really
touchdown and all that stuff. But
it's real simple.
Okay.
He was 24 out of 25. He only missed one pass completion in the first half. Mm-hmm. And then you add all those touchdowns in there. He's pretty darn good.
Well, yeah. The number, because 100 to 120 is pretty good, and what was his? He was
248 or 238.
Yeah, now they want to throw it 100 times this week.
Yeah. How I know he's very level-headed. I mean, folks know him, but is he the same today as he was yesterday, as he was Friday afternoon?
Oh yeah, I mean he'll make a bad throw today, and I'll get on his case and bring him back to earth. But no, and that's guys, there's a lot of hours spent on that practice field over the last 5 years of his career. And, so to get some notoriety for our university and our team, and then, and a little bit up for him individually, that's, it's well earned now because there's been a lot of, been more highs than lows for him in his career. But we were laughing the other day about, we were talking about his first start in 2010. Mm-hmm. You remember the Knoxville start,
game?
And then we started talking about the Southeast Louisiana game where he threw 4 interceptions.
Right.
And because it wasn't until the next week when he threw his first touchdown pass, and so he still remembers it. And was it been 50-something since then?
Yeah,
54 touchdown passes.
Right,
career leader.
And so and then it'll be a big change for him because next year, if he's a graduate assistant, he'll be down there, the 6 a.m. workouts, making sure guys are out there working out, and you'll be talking about the next quarterback. So I want him to enjoy it. Enjoy his senior year, enjoy these last couple of weeks, and hopefully we're playing, several games in those playoffs.
For the seniors, I mean, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. The season is
there's 8 padded practice left for them.
Is that it?
And that's the way Coach Riley broke it down to them the other day. You got 4 weeks, and Tuesday and Wednesdays is when we really, bang around. So as a senior, there's 8 more times in your life, unless you're going to play in the NFL, to where you're actually going to go out there on practice field and compete and, and trying to get better. And then besides that, right, they're coaching soccer with you and I or baseball or whatever, and that's how you compete. Then.
No, and for some of these guys, for Derek, he's been playing ball since he was probably in the 5th grade.
A long time. And you'll miss putting those, you'll miss being sore on Sundays.
Yeah.
And so enjoy it and embrace it.
Joe, I love the national recognition, though. I mean, anytime you see UT Martin mentioned and the world or the nation seeing it, it just kind of makes me feel proud, and I think it's got to help our school enormously.
Oh, I think it helps tremendously. I mean, every time the name goes across the crawl on ESPN, and people say, well, there's, I know my brothers will call me and say, hey, we see you winning. When we were down in South Florida, well, we see you need to come on and play a little bit. So, it draws a lot of attention.
And, Coach, it's even changed since you became the head coach at UT Martin with your ability to get on your phone and see scores. I'm sure you get a lot more response from people that that live well outside of the area that follow our games.
We do, and, of course, all the different apps that the kids download. I'm able to keep up with the different games and stuff. And coming back the other day, you remember Marcus Satterfield.
Mm-hmm.
He's the offense coordinator at UT Chattanooga, and him and Alex Atkins were texting me, and they were like, "Man, we were keeping up with the score," and they were like, "What in the world's going on?" and stuff. So it is neat. It has changed, and the different things. Whether it's Joe or Trudy called me, it seems like every other week we've got something new on our website and a way to view this stuff. So it's not going away. It's only getting better.
Yeah. Any other thoughts, Mr. LaFaro?
Well, I just wanted to, I don't know if Coach knows this about Derek. I invited him to lunch today.
Oh, didn't you?
He was on his way back from Nashville. He couldn't make it. But Derek Carr is a humble guy. Derek, you just got this, and this. Oh, really? Thank you, Mr. Joe. Thank you. He said, Mr. Joe, if it wasn't for those receivers, and he said, and that offensive line, I couldn't do this. So he's always giving those guys credit. And if he doesn't, those guys are watching and listening. They know.
Absolutely.
No, good after.
Of his stats. Now, you've been pretty humble about all this, too, but of everything that he did, what impressed you the most?
No turnovers.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you turn that ball, if we turn that ball over in the game, we probably lose. I mean, they turned it over twice. And I do want to say this now, and we can talk about it, but Thad Williams played outstanding. He was the OVC Defensive Player of the Week.
To me, he started it on a defensive play, and he finished it.
He did. What a great play. We busted the coverage, and our free safety wasn't where he was supposed to be, and Thad made the play on the 4th and 2 post, and they couldn't even argue about pass interference because it was just a great coverage.
He got that with his left hand, didn't he?
Yeah, because he had his right hand behind and went up with the inside hand. It was a great play. And he's supposed to have safety help over the top, and he didn't get it. And so it's kind of funny. You see their quarterback throws it, and he knows there's nobody in the middle of the field. And so when he throws it, you can see it on our videos we study. He starts running like when you shoot a three-pointer, a half-court shot to see if it's going to go in. Yeah. And he's running because he knows he's got a chance. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes Thad, knocks the ball down, and gets us off the field.
We've got a picture of Thad making that stop. And you can see Thad goes in, and he hits the ball, and then he puts his hands up immediately. So he doesn't show any contact at all. And it's pretty awesome. And you can see where the guy missed helping him out, and he was all by himself there. Yeah. It's right there.
Yeah, and it was Ben Johnson, so Ben's listening.
Ben?
You get in the middle of that field.
But it's weird in a game like that because we had to give the player of the game to Derek because his numbers were crazy, but we had to give the play of the game to Thad because without that play, who knows if he catches that ball.
4 pass breakups, and just very proud of him for that. But going back to the previous question, though, no turnovers. You throw the ball 46 times and have 87 plays. And to be able to take care of the ball on special teams and on offense. And, I'm very proud of our defense. We got 2 more turnovers. Mm-hmm. And there was probably another one that we thought that the ball got out that the official ruled down. It was questionable. Right now we're +6 in turnovers. But the team we're playing this week is +7. So we're in second place behind them, so obviously a dangerous opponent.
Okay, we'll come back.
Here's what you don't realize. Okay. Coach said to me at the beginning of the year, and he told some other people, the team that has the best defense doesn't necessarily win this league. It's the team that has the most turnovers, not create or not causes. You know what I'm saying? On defense, that
creates the most turnovers.
Yeah, that's the team that has had some success. Only one time in the past, 6 or 7 years has the team with the best defense won the league, and that was in 2006. Guess who that team was?
That would have been us, yeah. But we created turnovers that year, too. And that's such a big difference because you're taking away a possession or points from your opponent and giving yourself, a lot of times, by flipping the field, a chance to score points.
Oh, it's just crucial. You talk about change the momentum of the game and short
And that
the field.
was the thing, with it being Murray's homecoming, and their tent city was fantastic. I thought they had a really good atmosphere.
Right.
Thad's interception just took the air out of that balloon like that.
No, it did, and it quieted the place down. And of course, when they scored, that big horse comes running around. But what happened? Next thing I know, I look and I see a little horse in the back of a golf cart. Now they scored so many other times, it might would have hurt that.
We'll tell you off the air. We know the story. We'll come back. Skyhawk Talk continues from Snappy Tomato Pizza on the Skyhawk Sports Network.